Hello everybody, it's your girl Eddie from Rumors Fangirl channel. Welcome back to my channel. We are back, bitches. I am here today to do my Degrassi season 3 review. Now, this season was the turnaround season for Degrassi. Now, just like how I say season 12 and 13 was like the turnaround season for the new generation, season 3 was the turnaround season for the OG era. Hands down. I feel like when they did season 3, you were really going to see, okay, we're going to be teen drama. We're going to be messy. We're going to be filled with drama. We're going to give you character development. We're going to be everything you want to see that involves teenagers. We're going to give you important storylines, tackling issues that teenagers go through, also giving you mess and a whole bunch of shit. I feel like season 3 for Degrassi is iconic. You cannot be a fan of Degrassi, you cannot be a fan of this community and not like season 3. You cannot say that one of your favorite seasons of Degrassi is not season 3. Season 3 has to be your number 1 season or your top 2. I know when I made my list for Degrassi, season 3 was my number 1 season. Because I feel like for the OG era, it gets the most rewatch out of me. Period. I could watch season 3 without having to watch season 1, season 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 or 9. For real. Like, because to me, them like, well, I guess you could say season 8 and 9 is like the newer era, I guess. Whatever. Like I said, I feel like from the OG era, season 3 gets the most rewatch out of me. So let me just give y'all a rundown what happened in this season. Manny gets a new look. Emma tracks down her father. Marco had some really good episodes this season. He had a really good part 1 and part 2 episode. I feel like this is probably the only time I really liked Marco for real. Because I feel like other than that, he doesn't really do anything for me. Like I said, like once he like came out to Spinner and like his inner circle of friends, it still was like that storyline with him coming out to his parents. And I just, like I said, Marco was never really one of my favorite characters in Degrassi. He never really did much for me. So I feel like after his part 1 and part 2 episodes of Pride, I really stopped caring for his character for real. Like, I didn't even cut. I stopped caring for his character. I feel like Spinner was really a piece of shit in those part 1 and part 2 episodes. Like, I don't know. I feel like when I go back and rewatch Degrassi now, Spinner is really unlikable until he turns older. It's like he an asshole. He just treat people badly. He says and does all the wrong things. I don't know. Like I never really realized how kind of unlikable Spinner is. Like in the earlier seasons, not seasons 1 or 2. Season 1 or 2, he was a sweetheart, but like when you read season 3, he kind of like an asshole for real. Season 4, he's really unlikable for certain reasons. He kind of reminds me like of Andrew from Big Mouth. Like season 1 and 2 of Andrew from Big Mouth was a sweetheart, and it's just like once you watch season 3, he's like completely scum. Like it's like what happened to that sweet kid? You feel me? So yeah, Marco had some really good part 1 and part 2 episodes, but after that, I really didn't care for his character all that much. Minnie was allowing these niggas to get in her head when she started wearing a thong in school. Manny, even though I feel like out of all the girls this season, this was definitely her season. This is like the turnaround for her character. But I feel like in this season, Manny is like the dumbest bitch ever. She is such a clown. All she needed was her wig, her hat, her makeup, and her shoes, and she could have just been at the circus. Because the way Craig had this whole looking, this bitch was looking such a clown. She was looking like a clown, like a complete clown. Just clownery was real for my girl. She was really allowing these niggas to get in her head to where she had a big ego, to where she thought every bitch was jealous of her when she's the most insecure bitch walking in the hallway. Clock out, you're done. What else happened in this season? Sean and Emma break up. He steals Snake's laptop. I don't really care for Snake's cancer storyline all that much. This is about the teenagers, not about the adults, just for the record. That's one thing I could really say I do like for the new generation, because in the OG era, they loved giving the adults storylines like Joey, Caitlyn, Snake, Spike. I don't care about the adults. They had their time in junior high. This is for their kids, for the students to have storylines. Imagine if the newer generation they wanted to give Claire and Drew's mom all these storylines. They don't matter. They're a parent for a reason. Let the parents be the parent when it's convenient. Let the kids shine on the TV screen. This is about them and their journeys in high school. So I don't really care for Snake's camp storyline in season 3 all that much. I'm sorry, I literally forgot what I'm about to say. I guess you could say. I want to say. Can I say it? I want to know. Should I? Would I consider in episode 7 of season 3? Would I consider Craig cheating on Ashley? Me personally, I don't think so. And the only reason I say that is because she kind of broke up with him at the party, even though she didn't say the words "breaking up with you." She kind of like blew his head off for thinking. She kind of blew his head off for like thinking he pretended to write a love song just so he could, have sex with her because he went around and bragged. And me personally, I don't blame Ashley, because I feel like if a nigga go out and brag about y'all about to have sex, it would make me feel like, okay, maybe that's all you cared about was just getting in my panties. It's like you're not taking it seriously. Some shit in a relationship needs to be private. I don't have a problem with you telling your homeboys because, that's your nigga. Back in the day, this is about me and you. Your homeboy does not need to know that me and you finna get down and dirty in the bedroom. That's no one business but me and yours. Manny literally took advantage of Craig. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. She literally was like plotting on like getting that dick from him. Like she was plotting. Like she took advantage of him. She waited till him and Ashley broke up, swooped in, talking about, oh, if Ashley don't deserve you, talking about that song was so sweet. I would love that song. It's like, Manny, girl, you just look stupid because you let this nigga use you. You let him take your virginity. Girl, you're just dumb. Like, you're just stupid. Like, I don't feel sorry for you. And then at the day, Manny should knew what type of nigga Craig was, because for him to fuck you and then automatically just get back together and actually right in front of you, you're stupid. You're dumb, dumb, dibbity, dumb, dumb, dumb. Bitch, you're stupid. You a dumb hoe, you a clown, and you forever motherfucking will be. I know people like to say, oh, you so hard on Manny. I don't dislike Manny, but Manny's character frustrates me because she make bad decisions and then likes to turn around, play victim, and act like it's always the nigga fault. Granted, Craig was a piece of shit because he was out of pocket for taking Manny's virginity if he knew he was going to get back together with Ashley. And Manny was out of pocket because she shouldn't have left the nigga alone when she knew he was in a relationship. They both were out of pocket. But Manny's the one who looks stupid because she let this nigga use her as a side bitch. And that's just on period. Ellie was self-harming in this season. I feel like when I watch episode 8, Whisper to Scream, there's something about her that rubs my gears the wrong way. And I only say that is because I don't feel like they should have wrote where they found out she was self-harming in this episode so quickly. Because I kind of always felt like they kind of like shut that down. Like, I feel like in this episode, once Paige knew Ellie was hurting herself and she said something about it, we never really saw nothing more from Ellie other than they just put her relationship with Shauna this season. That was it. And it's like, really? We don't get to see more of her character, just her character, her inner self. It's like, then it's like you don't get to know anything about her self-harm or whether or not she was still doing it until season 4. It's like you put that storyline on pause for a whole season and then want to pick up on it, where it's like you kind of told the fans not to give a fuck. That kind of bothers me now when I watch season 3. It kind of bothers me that they gave Ellie a fantastic episode. Like, I felt her pain because I am someone who used to self-harm. I did, because I feel like it made the pain better, but all it does is make shit worse, because self-harming is never good, because one day you can cut the wrong vein and you could bleed out. That's what I'm talking about. Like, instead of putting it on pause, they could have did something where Ellie kept doing it to where she could have cut a vein and she had to end up in a hospital. Like, it's like they were afraid to take a stake. I don't know if it's because people might have complained because it was too of an intense storyline, but I feel like that's what it was. I feel like once Degrassi entered this season, that's what it became intense. It was tackling more of like issues of what children go through, and I'm not a fan of how they just kind of closed it in this one episode. Like, all right, that's it. Boom, Ellie, you go to the counselor. You go tell her when you're ready. It's like, really? I feel like they should have continued it. I feel like they should have continued it and did an episode where she cut herself on her arm and she, cut the wrong vein, keep bleeding, and she winds up in a hospital. They really should have went the whole way with it. But the idea of knowing that they cut it short, it bothers me now because before I was like, okay, I get it. Maybe it was a little too intense, but I feel like if that's what this season was supposed to be a different landmark, then you should have went the whole way. You kind of, screwed yourself for not going the whole way. That's just how I feel. Episode 9, Manny basically tries to, tell Emma how to be a slut by popping her pussy for a nigga who's in a relationship. She get mad at Emma because she didn't want to sleep with the nigga Chris because he had a girlfriend because Emma got morals. Manny called her a prude. Emma called her a slut. They stopped being friends. When it's like, let's be for real. Was Emma not wrong for calling Manny a slut? Because the shit you're doing is slutty. You letting this nigga Craig use you for your pussy because he's not getting it from his girlfriend. Just so you could just be happy that the nigga you didn't had a crush on is finally noticing you. Because of what? You walked into school dressing provocative. Girl, it's like, did you really think he was going to make you his girlfriend? Girl, like, Manny, you are a clown. And episodes 11 and 12 are really good. I love Holiday Part 1 and Part 2. I feel like Holiday Part 1 and Part 2 are some of the best episodes in Season 3. Craig is a piece of shit. I'm not gonna lie. I did not like... Well, honestly, I don't condone cheating. I don't condone cheating. I don't condone cheating at all. Like I said, I never really was someone who really liked Ashley, but I think just because I don't like Ashley does not mean she deserves to be cheated on. Like, when Craig said, that he did what he did with Manny because Ashley was too much of a prude and did not want to have sex with him, I don't think that gives him the right to step out and cheat. But I feel like if Manny was like a girl who was like, oh, you're not getting no more sex from me until you break up with Ashley, Craig would have stopped fucking with her. He would have, broke all ties off with her being his side chick and just focused on being with Ashley. But because Manny was easy and had self-esteem and insecurities, and it was easy for him to manipulate her into getting what he wanted, it was kind of easy for him to say whatever he can say to bring her back. Like, as soon as he saw her, like, getting away from him or might having the option to leave him, he knew to say what to reel her back in. And I feel like, he was a piece of shit for using her and using Ashley, but at the end of the day, Manny put herself in that position. She made herself the side chick. She put herself in a position to be used by someone who had a girlfriend, because the day she knew he had a girlfriend. And she still continued doing what she did with him, even though she knew the nigga had a girlfriend. So it's like, I feel like in this situation, I'm more mad at her than I am at the nigga, because I feel like Craig was just doing what he was doing. He was being a nigga. He was cheating, being completely unfaithful, right? He knows he has a girlfriend. And at the end of the day, that shit is trifling. But Manny, I'm more mad at her because woman to woman, I feel like you should know better. I feel like woman to woman, you should know your self-worth. I feel like woman to woman, you should never let no nigga use you to make himself feel better. And I feel like woman to woman, if you really want love, find a nigga who's willing to find someone that's on your standard. Don't ever, I don't give a fuck how much you love a nigga, how much you like him. If he's in a relationship, leave that nigga alone. Wait till he's no longer in a relationship to tie down, be with him, whatever fuck you want to do with him. But to be, fucking all over him when he in a relationship, girl, today, you're the one who's going to look bad more than him, because at the end of the day, he's being a man. Being promiscuous, being with two niggas at the same time, he's going to get a word for that while you're getting called out over a slut. You could have saved yourself all the embarrassment, how you just left that nigga alone and just waited for him to be with you when he wanted to be with you. Period. Many should have known better. Period. I know she's a child, she's immature, whatever, but it's like, girl, at the end of the day, it's like, I really can't feel sorry for you because you put yourself in that predicament to be used. That's just how I feel. I do feel like Craig wasn't shit. Minnie winds up being pregnant. Craig and her want to keep the baby until she realizes she cannot go through full term being pregnant. She wants to have an abortion. Emma does not support it until, Craig feels like Manny cannot make the decision because it's his baby too. I feel like I would have loved if Craig was there with Manny when she got the abortion, even though if he didn't support it, the didn't support the idea of them aborting their child. I feel like it would have been great had he just been there to support her. I feel like it would have been nice to see how they both would have dealt with them, how they both dealt with the idea of her no longer being pregnant. Like, I mean, that would have been a great storyline to do with Manny because it's like they just always put her in a relationship with guys. It would have been nice to see a storyline in this season after she gets her abortion, how she deals with it. Is she depressed? Is she sad? Like, what is she feeling because she did just, unalive her child inside her stomach? And I feel like with Craig, how does he look at her? Because it's like once they get back together, they never mention the abortion, like never. So I feel like that would have been a great storyline to see. Um, Sean and Ellie get together in this season. Rick is abusing Terry, which I think is the greatest domestic abuse storyline they ever done in Degrassi. Manny and JT get together at the end of the season, which I think is really weird, but whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna give season 3 a 10 out of 10. I think season 3 for Degrassi is an iconic season. They had some good ass episodes, great storylines. They had the iconic love triangle, which is like the main thing you hear everybody talk about when they talk about season 3. I mean, you can't talk about season 3 and not mention the iconic love triangle. You feel me? I'm gonna give season 3 always a 10 out of 10 because it deserves nothing but a 10 out of 10. It was an excellent season. You want drama? It has everything you're looking for. It had mess. It had everything. I'm gonna give season 3 a 10 out of 10. Like season 3 for Degrassi is one of my favorite seasons that I could always go back and watch. Period. Like I said, it's a season from the OG era that I can watch without really, quite frankly, not watching the rest for real, for real. So this is my season 3 review. Because you guys are my season 4 one, and please be looking out for the next episodes I'm going to be reviewing for season 12. They should be up sometime soon when I get some free time. As always, I'm gonna talk to you guys later.